Listen, tonight I'm going to convince you to go back to the well on a player that recently broke our hearts. Who is that player? Find out on tonight's episode of Bets Before Bed. Listen, before I jump into the stream, did you tail the play of the day yesterday? We're 2-0 on plays of the days, and this one was actually, we could say I'm 3-0 right now, because this one I said you could do the player prop stacking where you take the over 19.5 CJ McCollum points and the over 23.5 points and assists. Let me know if you tailed it. Let me know if you made money on it. Please be loud. I want to hear you all the way in the back row there. Now I will get into the first play, which is the Vucevic double-double. Yes, I am going back to the well. What is that old saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, shame on me again if I get this wrong. But I love this spot. I think it's a great spot. The other day was a great spot too. I know what you're going to say. The Wizards were a great matchup, and they were. Indiana's a great matchup too. So we're going to go back to the well. He hooked on us the other day. I don't think he's going to hook on us again. Yes, the over 10.5 rebounds for a minus 140 or whatever is fine. It's juicy. It's fine. Do I think he'll get 11? Yeah, I probably do. But give me the double-double against Indiana in this for essentially what is a minus 125 on Underdog when you're getting a minus 180 on DraftKings and other sports books for it. I, for one, am a man of grace. I'm willing to forgive Vucevic. I think he's going to come around for us and make us money this time and make all things right again. He has been over the last 15 games. Indiana's allowing the fourth most points per game at 26.33 and the second most rebounds per game at 17.46. He already has game logs of 17 and 12 rebounds versus Indiana this year, and he scored 24 and 12 points in those games, double-double in both. He's averaging 30.3 points and rebounds over the last 30 games. I don't know about you, but I am ready to be hurt again. I'm still cleaning the tears off of my pillowcase. However, I'm willing to go back to the well and not cry myself to sleep, and we're going to get the win with the Vucevic double-double. Oh, you better believe it. We're going back to the well on Michael Porter Jr. Now, he is questionable for the game tomorrow, but I do think he ends up playing. And if he does, I love his over 5.5 first quarter points. I'm not going to give you all the data on this. I'm not going to give you all the research. We don't need it. His rotations, his minutes, his shot attempts, all in the first quarter, how he comes out aggressive is screaming the over, just like it has many other times when we've cashed this line before this season, just like it has for Jaylen Brown's over 5.5 first quarter points. This is just one of those. Do you remember the old infomercial that would be on Saturday morning? Maybe I'm dating myself. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you remember it. The guy that had the little toaster oven and he'd say, just set it and forget it. Listen, I know about 50% of you at least knew how to end that sentence there. Yes, this is a play. We just set it and forget it. Listen, I like to keep you guys on your toes on this show. I know you're all thinking it's up in the air time, but wait, one more quick second. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. But that's not even what I was going to tell you. I just thought of that and I was like, I got to do it. I got to say it. All right. So we got to talk about some news and notes here because there is a ton of data that is not out for tomorrow yet. There are 3 or 4 games that I haven't even been able to research yet. The Golden State Warriors and Orlando game, the Clippers and 76ers game doesn't have any data out or lines out. San Antonio Spurs and the Jazz, and Denver and Phoenix don't have a ton of lines out right now. So those are games I haven't even really looked at yet. So just know if you're watching this video, those are some plays that some games that I haven't even been able to take a look at yet. However, there is a ton of news out. So before I go into it real quick, cue the graphic. All right. Yes, that is the very fancy graphic. You know what? You don't need to see my face for a minute. We're going to blow it up on the screen. I'm going to fly through a couple of these that are really, really the ones to watch for, the most important ones real quick. And obviously we start right at the top with Mr. Triple-Double, Nikola Jokic, probable in the game with a back and hip injury. So keep an eye on that. But more than likely, I think he plays. LeBron's been questionable with his ankle. He's TBD. I would assume he plays, but I do think there's actually a chance more than recent that he could sit out this game. Wemby is questionable with an ankle injury. Anthony Edwards jammed his finger dunking the basketball, questionable. Dejounte Murray, a man I might talk about later on, back, questionable. I hope he plays. Jamal Murray, ankle, questionable. If he is out, take a look at Jokic's props without him. I will maybe mention that a little bit later as well. Gobert, rib, questionable. Bradley Beal, questionable. If Beal is out, we're going to talk about his splits or Booker splits and Durant splits without Beal in the lineup. Aaron Gordon, I think, is interesting. Porter Jr., illness. Please give this man some IVs. He needs to be in. Listen, we need Porter Jr. in, all right? Can't have him out. Cade Cunningham for Detroit. Injury management, questionable. Lauri Markkanen, quad, questionable. That game could get ugly with the Jazz. DeAndre Ayton, questionable. I believe he plays. Jeremy Grant, hamstring, doubtful. I'm going to jump through some of these. Durant, probable. Nurkic, questionable. Cam Thomas, Oubre. Struss, questionable. If Struss is out, take a look at Jarrett Allen, who I may or may not mention tonight, but take a look at his over props. And Caruso, questionable. We'll have to see if that matters for Chicago. But that is the news and notes. So a lot of stuff to look at if you are betting on games on Wednesday, the 27th. Just wanted to dive into those before we get into the plays that are up in the air. Almost blacked out there. I had to catch my breath there. I flew through those news and notes so quickly just to try to get through it without making it too boring that I almost had to take a little break, had to hit my inhaler there for a second. All right, but I'm all right. I'm all right. Dejounte Murray is the first guy I'm going to talk about that I'm up in the air about. Dejounte Murray over 9.5 assists is really where I think I'm looking and where I'm leaning. I don't mind his points and assists as well. He's been over his assist line in the last 5 games of 9.5, and he's been over in 55% of the games on the season without Trey. He has a potential assist of 16.2 over his last 10 games. Now, this is a huge slate, and I probably should have led with this, but I'm going to have a couple extra up in the air plays today because this is such a big slate and there's a lot of things I'm looking at. Do your own research, take these plays, take a look at the news that comes out and make some decisions on whether or not you want to tail them or fade them. Another play that I'm interested in targeting is the Pascal Siakam over 22.5 points. The field goals are up from 14.5 per game to just over 20 in the last few games. His shot volume is huge. That is a huge reason as why I'm on this play. Chicago is also allowing the 10th most points per game to opposing power forwards over the last 15 games at 23.9. A little injury-related play is Karis LeVert over 6.5 assists. This is only a play I'm interested in if Strus is out again. A guy that I'm going to be honest with you and say that I have a hard time getting right at times is DeMar DeRozan. You know, I don't play him, and he's super aggressive, and he takes every shot, and he ball hogs, and he shoots 7 of 26, but he somehow finds his way into the over. And then I play him, and he shoots 12 times, and he shoots 7 of 12 or 9 of 12, super efficient, and he hits the under. I don't get it. However, he's in a great spot. This is a great, huge pace-up game for Chicago. They are one of the slowest teams in the NBA, but Indiana is like the second fastest in the NBA. Huge pace-up spot, up and down the court. Indiana is giving up the second most points per game on the season and the second most points per game to opposing power forwards over the last 7 at 29.42. I'm interested in the over at 26.5. It just seems kind of high, so I wanted to look into it a little bit more before I decide if I'm going to fully pull the trigger on this one. Listen, a big slate. I told you we were going to rapid fire off plays. Another play I'm interested in is the Jarrett Allen 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The PRA per game jumps from a 40% hit rate to a 55% hit rate when Mitchell is out of the lineup. If you're interested in his over 19.5 points and assists, that goes from a 46% hit rate on the season to 64% hit rate, averaging 20.8 per game. So I do think there's an opportunity maybe to little player prop stacking here. I don't love it like the CJ McCollum love that I had the other night for it. So just keep that in mind. But I do think there's maybe an opportunity to put like a 10th of the unit and a quarter of the unit on the two of these things. And if you lose, you're out, 0.35 unit. I think that's an interesting angle here to take. His potential assists uptick ever so slightly without Mitchell as well. And the minutes are the only concern because even without Mitchell, his minutes are a little bit up and down and sporadic. That's why I haven't really pulled the trigger on this one yet. And I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to yet. That is why it's part of this segment as up in the air. All right, while I was off stream, I went a little crazy and put together a little entry of all these plays on underdog that I'm really interested in. And, I think it's worth maybe like a tenth of the unit, something really small. It's like a 16.4x. It's literally like a lottery ticket. But I'm going to post this link down in the description here or in the pinned comment under this video. If you want to tail it with me, I'll also post the link to underdog because I love playing on underdog more than PrizePicks. What I'll do is I'll play on underdog because usually their lines are a little bit softer, a little more favorable to us, the better. And you can, if you use my link, you sign up, you're a new member, you'll get 100% deposit match up to $100 and a free play. And for today's video, the video you're watching on 327, I believe it's an MLB opening pick. So you will have that promo. You will pair it with any of these plays as a two-man if you want. Get extra money that way, and then roll out this slip with me, and let's get crazy on it. Listen, I haven't done this much. Please like the video. I'm going to throw it over to this man over here. He's going to make you an offer you may not be able to refuse. Hey there. You like what you see? Why don't you like the video? Looks like a little bell. Ring that bell. And while you're at it, maybe subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, that's the stream. I appreciate you tuning in. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next video.